Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the gnarly gnome. This is not a show. Lest you think differently, it's a happy hour. It's an excuse for us to hang out together. It's called the Weekly Pint. It started what? How long ago did this thing start? Year and a half? Are we longer than that? I don't know. During COVID, we decided to, I say we very loosely, I decided that I got tired of sitting down here by myself in the basement and drinking by myself, and I needed to drink with somebody else. So I thought, why not do this happy hour idea where we could turn on a camera, sit here in the podcast studio, which I just built and just come up with, and we could just drink together and talk about kind of what was going on in our lives, what was going on in craft beer, what was going on in the world, and so the Weekly Pint was born. But it's not a show, and that's important to understand because sometimes there's technical difficulties. Sometimes I don't have a plan when I come into all of this. Sometimes it just happens the way it's going to happen. It's okay. It's a happy hour. It's not supposed to be planned. The important thing is that you open a drink, some kind of a drink. It doesn't have to be beer. It doesn't have to be spirits, wine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're drinking. Just drink something with us. Hang out. Tell us what you're drinking. Jump on the chat. We can all take part that way. The really fun part is you can call into the show and take part that way, and it pops up right here. It doesn't pop up. It pops up here in the studio, but this is the number, 567-70-DRINK. That's 567-703-7465. You can call right in, and we'll patch you right in, and everybody can hear you, and that's fun. You can also just chat, which tends to be the way that people like to do it, except Marco. Marco likes to call in. We love the phone calls, but the chat works also. You can just, wherever you happen to be watching the show or listening to the show. Oh, goodness. Julia says it's almost bedtime, so water for me because I already brushed my teeth. You can brush your teeth again. That's okay, too. If you want to take part in the chat, it'll pop up right here on the screen, and everybody can see what you're saying, regardless of where you are listening. Josh says hello. Julia says evening. That's it. Tell us what you're drinking. You don't have to drink. Water's fine, I guess. It's fine. I can't decide what I'm going to drink, so I grabbed 2 beers, and I'm going to let you guys decide which one I drink. And then we'll talk about kind of the things that are happening in my world. Got an empty glass. Both of these are similar beers, similar styles, however, a little bit different from each other. The first one, it's a 16-ounce can from Westside. We've got a little bit of age going on this, so it's been teasing me from the fridge. Dunkel. There we go. Westside Dunkel, Munich-style Dunkel, awesome beer. It is 5.2%, 21 IBUs. You guys know Dunkel. The other option, again, I said very similar. This is from Brink. This is Chimney Clogger. You can't see it because of the lighting. Schwarzbier. So the difference between a Dunkel and a Schwarzbier is minimal, but there is a difference. And it to me, has to do with breadiness versus kind of a sharp, not a hoppy, like I'm not going to say this is a hoppy beer, but there's a sharpness to it. Julia says that Dunkel is her vote. I'm going to take a couple more seconds here for somebody to argue with her or agree with her, and then we'll go. Marco says hello. Marco, we need a vote. Are we going Dunkel or Schwarzbier? I have a feeling I know which way Marco will vote, though I think it's crazy that Marco doesn't like Schwarzbier. My mic, my levels are all messed up. Everything's messed up. I don't know why. Nobody else comes down here and records things. It's just me. So when I mess things up, it's my fault. Marcus says Dunkel. So Dunkel it is. We're going to go Westside Dunkel. I love this beer. Love this beer. Love this brewery. Love it all. All right, we're pouring. And we'll read what the can says. There we go. It says, ooh, it's foaming up. It's real close. Nope, no spills. All right. It says, deep brown with a tan head, this lager is loaded with toasty malt flavors of bread and crusts. Bread, not bread and crusts. Bread crusts. That makes more sense. And a light chocolate note. A little hop spice and bitterness comes through the finish to help balance the beer and bring it to a full-bodied finish. All right. Let's dive into this. Oh, man. Yeah, I get that. So, first off, before anything else, I get that lager character. Like, there's a, I don't want to call it a fruitiness because I think that gives the wrong connotation, but there's like this little fruitiness in the background. A little bit of a like a biscuity, biscuits and fruit. I have foam on my nose. Oh yeah, man, that smells so good. Mm. Oh, it's so good. One of my first, if not the first, kind of craft. That's arguable if it's craft or not. One of the first better beers that I ever had. I can remember Hofbrauhaus when they first opened, going down there and getting a pint of their Dunkel and just falling in love with this idea of this beer that towed this line between crushable, easy drinking beer and like this big kind of full flavored, big bodied something that didn't make sense to me as somebody that up until that point had probably only had either macro beer or maybe some Guinness and like some other beers that I thought were crafty at the time. This kind of takes me back to those early days of beer exploration and then kind of figuring out what beer styles could be and what beer meant. And this this takes me right back there. That's a damn good beer. A really good beer. Love it. Hang on. It's not toast. It's just like bread and bread and a little bit of fruit and maybe a touch of there's something else there that I can't put my finger on. Well, it's good. It's good. I don't want to spend the whole show just sitting here just drinking a beer and trying to tear it apart with you guys, but man, that's a good beer. I'm on a bit of a journey lately, and I'm not going to get too deep into it because we're still a really far ways out from it actually getting published for anybody to read or view or whatever it ends up being. But I over the last like I don't know, month or so, I have been reignited into this love of flavor. And I've realized, like, as much as I spend a lot of time with beer, and I think that probably, we'll say 98% of the beers that get put in front of me, I'm really spending time with them, and I'm appreciating them, and I'm taking them in for what they are. As much as that's happening, food has kind of fallen on the wayside for me, and like there's a lot of nights where I'll grab dinner. Brian says sake. Yeah, that's coming. That's part of something else, but with food, there's a lot of dinners where I'm just eating just to eat, and I'm scarfing food down, and then I'm moving on to the next thing. And I don't like that. I don't think it's fair, and I think it's doing a disservice not only to me but also to what I'm drinking. And that's kind of where my brain started this thought was with food, and then that moved into kind of some of the other things that I drink, be it sake a little bit. I think I appreciate sake more than some of the other beverages, but like wine especially too. Like I'm not a huge wine guy, but I recognize that if I spend a little more time with it, I think that there's some stuff there that I'm missing. And a lot of times I'm just drinking and just consuming it, and or with food I'm just eating it and consuming it and not paying attention to what's happening. And I think that if I am able to kind of slow down with those and focus on them a little bit, I think that not only will that open up a big kind of gap in that part of my tasting, I think it's gonna translate into beer a lot too. I think that there are some aspects of beer that will become more prominent and better if I can focus a little more on some of those other products. That's a really roundabout and vague way of telling you that there's a very big project in the works that I'm going to do. Right now, it's a blog series, we'll call it. I think it's going to be, as of right now, 7 blog posts that I'm in the process of. I would love to make it a video. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm still looking for some sponsor stuff to really make it all make sense, but I don't imagine that there's anybody that is willing to spend what it'll cost to make it a video. Maybe I can get somebody to sponsor the blog series. Even that, I'm not sure. It'll happen one way or another, but it's gonna be fun for me to just kind of dive back into kind of the basics of some of this stuff. Not just beer. I mean, beer is a part of it. There will be an entire segment that's just about beer, but food, I think, is probably the center point right now. But we'll see how it shapes out once it's all actually done. Julie says that sounds awesome. Can't wait to read it or watch it when the video happens, because I'm sure it will. Yeah, there's been very few videos in the last 2 months, and like I was kind of going over some schedule stuff and kind of the to-do list today, trying to knock a few things out, and I'm so far behind on videos. There are 2 brewcasts that still need split up into videos. There's, I think, 3 Drinking with the Gnome episodes that I need the videos split up. 1 Drinking with the Gnome episode that needs posted on the podcast feed, which it's ready to go. That'll be up this week. There are so many things that just kind of always take priority, and videos take so much time. I have I have a whole here's a sneak preview. This has been teasing me every time I come down here and I have a beer. This box, it's edible. I'm not going to tell you more than that, but here, I'll show you the picture. I could probably just tell you. It doesn't matter. It's edible stuff. And see, now I feel guilty because it says, enjoy the sweet holiday season. It's not going to be holiday season by the time I get this thing posted. Oh, yeah. Looks tasty. No, they're not even. I guess they make other things other than this. That's licorice. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I see. I'm behind on everything. Making videos is tough, and this is supposed to be a video. Maybe it'll just be a blog post. We'll get there. I love how crazy my life is, because it means that there's things happening. It means that my family is happy and healthy, and they're doing things, and that's good. But it makes all of this other stuff difficult sometimes. On that note, we are, as of tonight, officially into cookie season. That's a new thing in my life. My oldest, my daughter, is a Girl Scout this year, her very first year of Girl Scouts, and now we have to sell cookies. So that's been fun. And it's going to be a lot more fun trying to figure out how far we take that this year. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be standing outside of Kroger selling Girl Scout cookies or not, but oh man, I can't get enough of this. I'm curious for anybody that is jumping on the stream right now. If there's anybody that has kids that is familiar with the whole Girl Scouts cookies world or Boy Scouts popcorn world, whatever it may be. Marco says, "Are you the cookie mom?" No, I'm not. We are not the cookie. We're not the cookie people. Julia says, "I'm planning on ordering some. Just have to discuss with Josh what to get." Well, if you need to buy some cookies, I got you hooked up. Just go to, and I'm not even going to, no, not even offline. You can order online. And this is, I don't know, so I have to put this out there. I set it up before the show started. I don't know that the Girl Scouts fully sanction this idea. They obviously do not sanction drinking. It's Girl Scouts. But if you go to thegnarlygnome.com/cookies, I think it's cookies. Cookies. Let me check. I think it's cookies. Thegnarlygnome.com/ thegnarlygnome.com/cookies. You can buy all the Girl Scout cookies you want, and I'll deliver them. I think we have to deliver them, so that's a thing. Marco says, "Word of advice: don't be the cookie mom." From the husband of a former cookie mom. We have somebody else in the trip that is the cookie mom. We have other responsibilities that we are involved in. Tim says, "I was the popcorn colonel for about 3 years when my boys were in Scouts a long time ago." I love it. Yeah, so if you want Girl Scout cookies, go to thegnarlygnome.com/cookies. And we'll set up a couple fun days where we can show up at a brewery somewhere, and I'll deliver cookies, and we can have some beers and sit around and shoot the shit about drinking and make it kind of make sense both ways. But again, I don't know that that's sanctioned by the Girl Scouts. This is not officially condoned, or don't tell anybody. I don't know how it works. I definitely know a few people that could talk. And Julia says, if you deliver them on a Tuesday, I'll pay the driver fee in beer. We could make that work. If there are enough people that are ordering cookies that agree to show up at Higher Gravity on a Tuesday, we'll make that a delivery stop. We can definitely do that. I can probably guarantee that anybody who is a Nomi in your spring delivery, so around Patty's Day, somewhere around there, there's probably going to be cookies. There's probably going to be cookies in your box, because I think the business will be donating a few boxes of cookies towards my daughter's goal too. Julia says, Colonel. I love that. I get it. It's like a popcorn kernel, but also like a kernel. That's clever. I see what they did. It's been interesting diving into the cookie world. It's also been a little like disheartening. Like, my daughter is, she's 5, almost 6, and so she doesn't really get how crazy the people around her are about Girl Scout cookies. Like, she knows that it's a thing, and she knows that we always get Girl Scout cookies, and she loves them and whatever. But like, the Girl Scout organization is hardcore about cookie sales, and I don't know that she sees that around her. And like, I do, and they're talking about her trying to figure out her goals and things, and she's like, oh, I'll sell like 5 boxes. I'm like, I think they want you to say something higher than that. And it's she just doesn't quite get it, which is incredibly freeing, and I envy that. The world does not appreciate for a long time your naivete. Julia says, wait until she's a brownie, then she'll understand the ruthlessness of the cookie world. It's weird. So and again, I probably shouldn't be saying this on a live show after I just promoted her cookie website, but we went to a cookie rally earlier this year where they kind of get them all hyped up to sell cookies. And at the end of the thing, one of the little stations that they have to go to was a survey, and they have to do this survey to get the badge at the end, the patch for their like vest or whatever you put patches on, I guess. And the survey, a big part of it was us to fill things out about cookie sales, and then we're supposed to ask them questions. So I'm trying to ask my 5-year-old questions about cookie sales. And like, the questions were like, how do you plan on, hopefully I didn't sign anything that said I couldn't give these out, but how do you plan on like engaging your customers in your sales more? And like, she's 5, and like in her mind, all she was doing was like crafts all day. And she's like, what? It's like, oh yeah, like, this is about selling cookies. Like, you understand that we're selling cookies. Like, you have to go to people and sell cookies. And I still don't think she gets it. Hopefully, as she gets older and moves into brownies and things like that, she gets the idea a little bit more. But as of right now, I don't think she understands it at all. I think she's excited because she is now her direct source to the cookies, so she can just get cookies from herself. I think that's what she's excited about. So that's been my life. We won't dwell on that much longer. We should talk about this week's Brewcast, though, because this was a big one. Been a really, really long time in the making. We had this show scheduled not this exact show, obviously, but this show was scheduled, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that. And we canceled it, and we bumped it, and we moved it, and we just kept kind of tweaking the dates. And Marco says, like a brewer who can get beer from their brewery. Yes, if that brewer was 5. That's the difference. Like that excitement and that just complete not understanding of the bigger picture. Like if you had a brewer that was 5 years old. Speaking of brewers, Jason Brewer, who does not brew, finally announced his next project after Listerman, which is called Wandering Monsters. Over in Anderson, an incredibly, I'm not going to say underserved part of the city, because they've got some really great breweries. Like there's some good stuff happening out there, but there's still so much room for something else there, and a different type of place, and a different personality to a place. I mean, they're smack dab in between, Happy 2 and Paradise, and then them. And man, it is a perfect spot for what they're planning. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to the episode. It is everything wrapped into one. Julia says that the area needs more chicken places. It was funny. So after that, after we recorded the episode, we said our goodbyes, and we were kind of walking out in the parking lot, and I'm loading up the car, and he said, "Oh, where are you headed to now?" I said, "I'm going to go grab some lunch somewhere." I said, "I think I'm going to go over to Mount Carmel. I haven't been to Mount Carmel in a while. It's just down the road." And he said, "Oh, it sounds like fun. Tell him I said hi if you see anybody. I'll talk to you later." So I get there, and I sit at the bar, have a beer. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat. And about halfway through my beer, he comes walking in the door, and he said, "Well," he's like, "I need to eat. Figured I'd come crash your party." And so we sat down and we had lunch together. And sure as shit, guess what he ordered? Chicken sandwich. And if you don't think that I gave him crap for that, I did. I gave him a lot of crap for ordering a chicken sandwich after all of the crap we gave the places in the area for only serving chicken. From what I hear, it looked good, and he said it was a great chicken sandwich, by the way. I had wings, and that's chicken too, and they were good. I ordered the large order of wings at Mount Carmel, and it not only fed me for lunch, it also fed me for dinner. That's how many wings and how big those wings were. It was amazing. It's been a while since it hasn't been that long, but it's been long enough that I always forget how much I love that place. They not only is the food great, the beer, there are both sides of the coin there. Like there are things, like there's the fact that I can walk in there and know that I'm going to be able to get a nut brown ale. I love. They also had their maple doppelbock back on tap, which I don't know when the last time that was on. So like they are still kicking in some newer stuff that hasn't been on for a while. Like they're hitting a couple different sides of the coin there, and I love that place. Love it. The food is great. People are amazing. Ran into Mike and Kathleen, and got to talk to them for a little bit about kind of how things have been going and how they are, and definitely got a minute to reminisce about kind of that early stage of Cincinnati craft beer that they were a huge part of, and big part of with me, again, kind of going back to the Dunkel conversation, that same era when I was, just discovering, the Dunkel at Hofbrauhaus. I was discovering the Copper Ale at Mount Carmel, and it's a special time for me as a drinker in my timeline, I guess. And every time I go in to there specifically, it really does just take me it takes me back to that experience. And I don't know. There's a lot of days where you just want to like capture that feeling, and you're chasing that as much as you are chasing a good beer. You can get a good beer anywhere, but that feeling of excitement and happiness around beer and exploration and like that thing, like that's I think as craft beer drinkers, that's I think, and maybe I'm just speaking for me, but I think we spend a lot of time looking for that as opposed to a great beer. Like I mean, we're always looking for great beer, but you can get a great beer anywhere. But that feeling of excitement around a beer, or discovery, or like when you smell a beer and then you taste it, and like you start working your way through a pint, and you find different things in there, and you it's a special thing that I think that we lose sometimes when we get used to the normalcy of what all of this has become. If any of that makes sense. That's how I feel. I don't know that it made sense, though. It is what it is. Oh, man, that's good. So we'll start wrapping things up here a little bit. We have a couple really fun episodes coming up. I have not recorded next week's officially yet, so I hesitate to tell you what it is, but it's a big one. It's a big one. It's it's a show we've been working on for I think 2 months, 3 months, maybe even more than that. We had a couple ideas of what it was going to look like. We settled on kind of something a little more focused, a little more like a singular brewery focused, but I think it's going to be good. A little more. It's a different aspect of the industry and of the craft beer world than what we typically dive into. I don't want to give too much away because I'm still on the fence if it's actually going to happen, but it's going to be good. It'll be good if it happens. And then we have a couple other things kind of in the hopper for some following weeks. I have a whole bunch of Drinking with the Gnome episodes that are coming. The first of which I know is coming. It's coming this week. It's because it's already recorded. It was the live episode where we hot poked beers down at the Chris Kindle Market. That episode is 100% ready to go. I have to finalize some artwork and schedule it and all of that stuff. And Julia says, exclusive interview with the Cintas guy who handles the local brewery accounts. No, it's marketing related. We'll say that much. And we'll put it this way: if you wanted to schedule a show where you talked about marketing craft beer, where would be the best place to sit down and talk about that? Marco says the Dallas kicker has missed 5 extra point attempts possible. Oh, that's great. I took the money line for the Bucks, so I like hearing that. I don't have the game on at all right now. It's not even, and I'm like everything's firing off like perfect right now, so I could have the game up here on this screen, and I don't. Out of all of the nights, like everything seems to be working great, and I could have been watching the game. I did, if we want to talk about gambling a little bit, not that was a gambling comment, but I kicked ass this weekend. Huge thanks to not only the Bengals for doing what they needed to do, but also to Buffalo, because I did put a lot of money on that game, and they made me happy. Marco says, yes, gambling. I love it. I love gambling on sports. I think I might be addicted to it. We'll see how everything pans out after the Super Bowl. Because I'm as far up as I am right now, I'm fairly confident that I'm just going to put it all into the Super Bowl with the Bengals, because mark my words, don't do that. That sounds like a jinx. I am hoping for the best this season. I feel like that's a very dangerous thing to say. Let's wrap it up, guys. I'm going to drink, and I'm going to make sure my family is settled for the night. And, yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out and taking part in this thing that we do, because without you guys, it wouldn't exist. And I do mean that from the absolute bottom of my heart. This entire, especially this show, like the only reason it exists is because there were people that I wanted to connect with during COVID, and I wanted to sit down and have a beer with, that I couldn't. And this became that way to sit down and have a beer with you guys. And I'm glad that we've been able to keep doing it. All of these episodes. What is this, episode 150 something? Like that's wild. Like if I translate that into like my feeling about Cincy Brewcast, which is probably, I don't know the episode number off the top of my head. Maybe like 350, something like that. Like that number is crazy. The fact that we're at 150 with this, and we're only at 350 with that, and the time difference. Like, it feels like I've been doing the Brewcast like my whole life, and this show still feels new and fresh, and still growing and still evolving. Everything's always evolving. That's the way it works. We'll be back next week. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you very much. Tell somebody about the show, about any one of these shows, any one of the things that we do. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/support. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/cookies if you want to order some Girl Scout cookies. And we'll be back next week. Thank you guys very, very much. We'll see you later. Cheers, everybody. Spoiler alert, the mystery box that I showed early in the show, it's pretzels. And there's going to be a fun little affiliate link that you guys can use to get your own pretzels. And we'll do pretzel pairings and things. It's going to be fun. Pretzels. Just stay tuned. Soon.